So I don't want to overthink this. All right, so I just wanted to shoot the shit on my way home from work and kind of talk about some things lately. So if you've been keeping up with the fitness YouTube space at all, you may have seen something about Dr. Mike and his PhD dissertation. And he's getting ripped for this thing because essentially this study that he did for his PhD thesis, aside from grammatical errors, there was no groundbreaking or major contributions to the field from it. And like the design of the study really wasn't that great. There was parts that were copy and pasted that, again, it was a whole document that it said a whole lot of nothing. Additionally, he came out and claimed that it was Solomon, what the fuck is his name? That's going to piss me off. Solomon something. And I apologize for not remembering that. But anyhow, this dude, he did a video on Jeff Nippard too. But he went through this PhD dissertation and tore this thing apart. Dr. Mike said, oh, nope, he didn't have the real one. That he had access to an earlier version, which, again, as many people have stated, the university had it in their like official library. So if they didn't have the right copy, that it's on the advisor and the doctoral student to provide the right documents. And then he came out later and said that no, it was the right one. Basically, it's this whole sham where he got called out, tried to fix it in a way that people wouldn't notice. Like always, when people try to do that shit, it just makes it that much more obvious. And basically, he got eviscerated by several people in the fitness community. Then, Jeff Nippard. So, our Mr. Solomon, again, I apologize, but I saw a video of him that he posted today tearing into Jeff Nippard. Because Jeff Nippard was he said that Solomon went through and made a whole bunch of critiqued the original tweet was like semicolons or comment. It was a tweet or comment, but it was about semicolons in an old paper, which Nippard had since removed. Okay. And the thing with that is, so you have people it's very little to do with the punctuation. It has to do with the content. And what people will do is they'll try to not throw things in your face, but they'll present different aspects of a piece of work or something and nitpick the things that really don't matter or change the overall, impact of what's being stated. So like the grammar, even if you could have shitty grammar, and should you have shitty grammar in a, doctoral paper? Probably not. But at the very least, if your experimental design and your data and everything else is solid, you have a good design, you actually have some decent findings, you're presenting evidence to the field that makes it more concrete, then all right, aside from some punctuation shit, it still has merit. But when there's not even really that, it's kind of like, man. And now I'm going to be the one to say it. I think that you can get utility from somebody like Dr. Mike, and I've tried different exercises that he suggested. Are all of them the greatest? No. Do some of them work? Sure. So you still can get some good advice, but with things like this, it becomes increasingly more difficult to discern what is good advice, what isn't, who's legit, who's not. And for me personally, that's probably the most exhausting thing about the fitness space. I'm going to become my own fitness influencer, by the way. I'm going to become my own, because I don't really trust fucking anybody out there to give me legitimate advice. Like anybody, I have to take it with a grain of salt, and I have to go test it out in the gym or wherever this piece of advice would normally be applied. I got to test it for myself, because everybody's got a motive. People will try to push plans, either meal plans, nutrition plans, and then other industry, it's like courses. That's a super common one that everybody's got a course now. Everybody's got a course. Everyone's a teacher. You have that. So there's reason why people are pushing this kind of information. And you have to be able to take a step back and all right, take in that information, but then really evaluate whether or not it's legit. And again, that's becoming increasingly harder to do. And the science-based community in regards to lifting has been getting a lot of shit lately. It just so happens that now you have Dr. Mike, and then if you haven't seen the... Dude, I so apologize for this, but if you haven't seen Solomon's channel or his video on Jeff Nippard, go look at that and watch that. I'll link it in the video description because he totally eviscerates Jeff Nippard. And I have watched plenty of Jeff Nippard videos. I don't have anything personal against Jeff Nippard. But if you have people that are lying or misrepresenting and other people are covering for them and they're in the same sphere, then I have to call your integrity into question at least a little bit. Because if you are as knowledgeable as you claim, then you know better, but you're not going to call it out because of a personal relationship or essentially a conflict of interest. So, and he did that with like all the shit with Hussein and Julian, which feels like happened forever ago, but just recently, like all these things where it's just like, y'all aren't idiots. People only get away with shit like this when people don't think and people support these creators that are not really giving them much of anything, but they got some edits in their videos. So you know what? You know, they must know everything that they're talking about. Or, you know, they are fucking a fake natty, but swear to God that they've gotten their gains the 100% natural, vegan, GMO-free, fucking organic way. And yeah, just I'm tired of bullshitters, dude. I'm tired of it. And there's nothing wrong with like getting new information and changing your opinion. That is totally different than being all in on a given an ideal. And then when you're wrong, instead of coming to terms with the reality that you are wrong, it's no, everybody else in the world, like, they're wrong. And that, you can't grow that way. That is just choosing to be ignorant when everything is pointing you towards, you know, the reality of the situation. Holy traffic, man. But yeah, so 2 interesting videos that Solomon did. And again, 2 prominent figures, Mike Israetel and Jeff Nippard. Again, I'm really over the bullshit. I'm really over it. It's like, and this thing is like, I liked watching fitness content. And now it's at a point where I'm like, dude, just shut the fuck up. And the irony in that, because like, I'm sitting here talking to you on video, like you could tell me to shut the fuck up. But I'm not trying to sell you something. I'm lazy and I don't want to have to make a fucking thing to sell. B, I much prefer like giving things like information away to anybody that wants it. You know, I like the idea of making things accessible. It doesn't mean you're going to get results or that you're going to follow through. The thing is, I can make all the information accessible in the world, but you got to still look at it and apply it. But I'd rather be supported because I'm known for cutting through the bullshit and like providing what I think, what's worked for me, and just having like, I don't know, just, I don't want there to be any sort of element of deception or fucking, I don't want to push a product in every video. Like, yeah, would it be cool to get paid from YouTube? Of course. But I also don't want to be a slave to fucking advertisers. And I would only want to promote products that I believe in. And just a hint, like no one person has the answer to everything. Fitness, finance, whatever. There's just so many grifters out there now. It just, my God, it's just it's frustrating, man. It is super fucking frustrating. And the worst part, I think the worst part about it is refusing to acknowledge what's going on because you like somebody's videos. Like, you can like somebody's videos, but then also see that maybe they're not as prestigious as you might have thought, or maybe their information isn't as concrete as you were led to believe. Chances are there's always going to be this new thing that you're not doing. There's always going to be this new influencer pushing some idea. There's always going to be some new product that fucking is going to be a game changer. But you have to be able to critically think and decide, does what they're saying line up with real world data? And when it comes to studies and like fitness, do the people in the study, are the results that they're getting, do I fit that demographic? You know, if you're a new lifter and they're trying to study, you know, muscle gain, people that are new are surely going to gain muscle at a much faster rate than someone who just started. So like there's so many other variables that aren't necessarily controlled for, but then are contributing to the results of like these papers and these findings, which you're really not getting the full picture of what's happening. You're really getting an idea, or like it could be this, but it's up to you to be the scientist to fucking discover what's right and wrong based on your own personal experience. So, on that note, I'm going to cap this video. Remember to stay beautiful and that you are loved. Keep doing the things that you do every day. Keep being awesome. Keep putting your best foot forward. Try to make the world a better place. And we will reconvene next time.